Leonardo da Vinci died with 13,000 pages of unfinished notes. Inside them, scattered between sketches of war machines, anatomy, and angels, were 7 principles he used to learn anything. They built the most curious mind in history, and almost nobody talks about them. Today, we will. Leonardo was not born a genius. He was the illegitimate son of a notary in a hill town in Tuscany. He had no formal university education, no Latin, no Greek. He was, by the standards of his time, unqualified. And he became, without question, the most accomplished polymath in recorded history. Painter, engineer, anatomist, architect, musician, cartographer. He did this with no shortcut, no school, and no system anyone had ever written down. He built the system himself, and he wrote it in his notebooks, backwards, in mirrored script, scattered across decades. 7 principles repeat. Here they are. The first principle Leonardo wrote about, and the one every other principle depends on, is what he called Curiosità, a relentless, unembarrassed, almost childlike need to know. In his notebooks, he wrote questions like a man possessed. Why is the sky blue? How does a bird's wing produce lift? Why does the heart have 4 chambers? What is the geometry of a wave? Hundreds of questions, most of which nobody around him was asking. The rule isn't be curious. The rule is write your questions down. Leonardo's curiosity worked because it had a paper trail. Yours will too. Today's exercise. Open a notebook. Write 5 questions about something you saw today that you don't understand. Don't answer them yet, just write them. The second principle is Dimostrazione, the willingness to test what you've been told. Leonardo distrusted received wisdom. He once wrote, "Whoever in discussion adduces authority uses not intellect, but memory." What this means in practice. When someone tells you something is true, your boss, your teacher, the internet, test it. Not with skepticism for its own sake, but with a willingness to look at the thing yourself. Leonardo dissected over 30 human corpses, many of them illegally, because he refused to accept the anatomical drawings handed down from Galen, a Greek physician who lived 1,000 years before him. Galen had been wrong about almost everything. Leonardo only knew because he checked. The third principle, Sensazione, the continual refinement of the senses, especially sight. Leonardo believed sight was the noblest of the senses because it gathered the most information. He trained his eye like a musician trains an ear. He would sit in a crowded square and try to draw from memory every face he had seen that day. Modern equivalent, you do not need to draw faces, but you do need to practice noticing. Once a day, look at something for 60 seconds longer than you normally would. A tree, a face, a glass of water. Notice what you missed in the first 5 seconds. That is the muscle Leonardo trained, and it's the one most of us have lost. The fourth principle is Sfumato. In painting, Sfumato is the technique Leonardo invented to blur edges. The haze in the Mona Lisa, the soft halo around the Virgin of the Rocks. But in his notebooks, Sfumato meant something else. The willingness to live with unresolved questions. To not need the answer immediately. To let 2 contradictory ideas sit together until a third truth emerges. This is the rarest of the 7 rules. Most of us, when faced with ambiguity, reach for certainty. We pick a side fast. Leonardo did the opposite. He once kept a sketch of a flying machine on his desk for 20 years before deciding it would not work. The rule: when you don't know, don't pretend you do. Sit in the haze.
The answer will come, or it won't, and you'll have learned something either way.
The fifth principle, Arte/Scienza. The deliberate balancing of art and science, imagination and logic, in the same mind. Leonardo believed that an engineer who could not draw was a worse engineer. A painter who did not understand mathematics was a worse painter. He saw these as two halves of the same instrument. Most modern education forces us to pick one. We are told we are a left-brain person or a right-brain person. Leonardo would have laughed at the question. Practical version. If your work is technical, study a poem this week. If your work is creative, do a math problem. The cross-training is the point. It is what made Leonardo, Leonardo. The sixth, Corporalità. The cultivation of physical grace, fitness, and bodily awareness. Leonardo was, by every account that survives, an exceptionally handsome and physically gifted man. He could bend horseshoes with his bare hands. He was an accomplished horseman, a swimmer, a fencer. He believed the body and mind were one system, that a dull body produced a dull mind. This is the principle we have lost most completely. We treat the body as something to be managed, a vehicle to drag the brain around in. Leonardo treated it as half of the engine. The rule does not require a gym. It requires that you stop ignoring the thing you live inside. Walk, stretch, sleep. Eat like someone whose mind depends on it, because yours does. The seventh, and the one Leonardo returned to most often, Connessione. The recognition that everything is connected to everything else. In his notebook, Leonardo drew a comparison between the branching of trees, the branching of rivers, the branching of human veins, and the branching of lightning. He believed they were all expressions of the same underlying pattern. He was, in fact, 400 years early in noticing what we now call fractals. Connessione is the principle that turns a curious person into a polymath. It is the moment your knowledge of one thing illuminates a completely different thing. The moment you realize the way water flows is the way crowds flow, is the way ideas flow. The rule. Whenever you learn something new, ask, "What does this remind me of?" Hold the two together. That is where insight lives. 7 principles. Curiosità, Dimostrazione, Sensazione, Sfumato, Arte, Scienza, Corporalità, Connessione. Curiosity, testing, sensing, holding ambiguity, balancing art and science, caring for the body, and seeing the connections. None of them are complicated. None of them require talent. All of them require what Leonardo gave them: time, attention, and a notebook. He died in 1519. His notebook survived. The system survived. Now you have it. If you want more of this, wisdom from the people who built the world, applied to the way we live now, subscribe to VinciMood. New videos every Sunday. Next Sunday, I'm reconstructing the morning routine of Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome. The 6 things he did before sunrise every day for 15 years, taken directly from meditations. Don't miss it. And take one of those 7 rules this week. Don't try all 7. Pick the one that made you uncomfortable when you heard it. That's the one to start with. I'll see you next Sunday.